with your stream history before you grew super fast? All things considered, I really did. I really did. When I look back at it, I don't look back at it very often. Let me look. I really did. I started off, my first stream was to like 15 or 10 viewers. I don't even remember. It was very significant for a small streamer. Let me see. Yeah. Oh no, my first stream's average was 24. That's crazy. It was because I was streaming with my friend May. I had met her and we were just playing video games online, and like I had not started streaming or anything. And I told her I was going to start streaming, and she was like, "Why don't you collab with me?" She invited me to collab with her. Yeah, and it's the same May that I'm still friends with. That May. She was like, "You should collab with me, you know, and I can like get people to see you." And I was like, "You don't need to do that at all." Like at all. And she was like, "No, we're gonna probably like play games and collab together a lot anyway." Like we kind of were planning to, because we were just friends like before I was streaming. And yeah, she was like, "Yeah, let's just do it." And then we did. She was just a friend that I made through this. I just met her like in a Discord that another VTuber had made that he invited a bunch of people to that either were streaming or wanted to stream, and they would just hang out. And I met her in a VC there, and that was it. So she was like, "Yeah, we should collab." And that was it. So my first stream was 24. And then that whole month I just collabed with friends from that server. I was just hanging out. I really didn't care about my streams. I was just doing it as a hobby, you know? So I streamed for a couple hours late at night. I was always starting like most days 8 p.m. streaming for 3-4 hours. And yeah, I kept that up. I was like around like 20 viewers for the most part. And that was in February. And then like around March, I started trying to play solo instead of just playing games with people. I was like, I want to see what happens if I solo stream. And it worked out from there. It just worked out. That's all. That's all. I think a good amount of it working out was that I played solo games that people like actually wanted to watch most of the time. And I played games that were a little off the beaten path, right? I went back and was like, you know what? I'm going to play stuff that I want to replay, right? So I started, actually, when I was starting to do more solo playthroughs, I did Subnautica Below Zero. I had never played it, and I said, I want to play this. And then a little bit later, I said, you know what? I want to play Pikmin 3. I really want to replay Pikmin 3. I was just playing stuff I was interested in, and that was it. And then I started playing nostalgic games a little after that, like classic era. I played some Breath of the Wild within a couple months. So I started in February, and then by June, I was already at like 75 average. I was just grinding, that's all. I was just grinding, and I don't know, people watched for whatever reason. That August, I was like hitting 100 viewers, it looks like. Yeah, it's crazy to me. That's crazy. Interestingly enough is when I started collabing less and solo streaming more that I got more people following and coming in. I think when you're a smaller streamer, people do really like solo streams, because a lot of people that seek out smaller streamers, they're there because they want to be in a community where they can talk to you. And I was always really communicative with chat. And you still see it. I sit here and just talk to chat for hours before I play a game, you know? We just talk back and forth about whatever people bring up. I don't even come here with topics. It's just whatever people bring up. So, you know, I always did that. And that was it. That was it. If the you of now could tell the you of then anything, what would you tell them? When I was a smaller streamer? I don't think I would tell myself to change much as far as what I was doing when I was streaming, because I was just streaming stuff that I liked, and I think that's what you should do. You know what I mean? And then you should just do stuff that you like, and don't try to go in with a crazy strategy. I think the more you think about it like that, the more you suck the enjoyment out of it. I think I would tell myself to police my community differently. What I've settled on and what we do now is really good. What I did at the time was similar, but I think I let people have too much freedom, like moderators, with how they did things, and kind of left it up to like the group decision. And if I kind of wanted something to be a certain way, but several of them were like, I'd rather do this, I'd be like, all right, you know, that's the community says. But no, like over time I put my foot down. I was like, I have decided it needs to be this, and if you're going to be my moderator, you have to get with the program, and you know, we're going to be aligned on things. And if I say I need this, that I need it, you know. Once I started doing that, that was like the last thing I needed, I felt, for it to be good. That was it. Your first GEEGA stream was the 1.0 funeral. Yeah, when I did a funeral for my model. It was so good. I loved it. I sat in a coffin the whole time and just podcasted with people, and they were giving me eulogies. It was so fun. May was there. She was talking about all the stuff we did together. I love that stream. Did you stream with the model from day one? Yeah. So the reason why I met people and talked to them before I ever streamed was because I made a Twitter account and had a model, and I had the art of it while it was being rigged, and I was getting a little bit of art commissioned of it, and I had started like posting art a little bit just because I just wanted to do it, you know. I was like, ooh, here's my character, and like started up my art tag. Some people found me on Twitter doing that and were like, I like your design, and we just started talking. And then I got pretty quickly invited to one server and then another one later. And then I just hung out with people in VC when I was playing games late at night. That was it. I would just go in there and be like, yeah, I'm playing Tetris 99. And I would just screen share. You know what I mean? And I made friends through that. And a lot of those people I'm still friends with. So that was literally it. I think the you from back then would be more excited about surviving. Yeah, I mean, well, the me at that time didn't know that me had cancer. That was not like knowledge at that point. I knew I had some weird medical things like starting to go on, but that wasn't a thought in my mind. I was just playing games with friends late at night and then made it a stream thing instead of just playing a VC thing. That was really it. And then when was I finding out? I was finding out in 2022. I was streaming 2021. 2022 was when I was like figuring out my you know, I was figuring out my health situation at that point, but my first like year of streaming, I had no clue. You know, I had no idea. So that was just me chilling. And people would always ask me, they'd always be like, oh, do you want to do this? Do you want to make it big? I'd be like, no. Like, I work in tech. I really don't need, I would say it all the time. I'd be streaming like 8 p.m. I'd be like, I'm streaming after work, guys. I'm not like, that's not really what I'm going for. And I would always give the blanket answer of like, if this surpassed financially the tech job, then I'd consider it. But it doesn't, so no. That was always my answer. And then, yeah, illness changed that for sure. It changed that. So I went full time. I think I had my surgery over that one winter. I think the fall before that was when I went full time, because I was like, when I announced, oh, I'm going full time, it was more like, that was when I was stopping working because I couldn't anymore, really, you know. That's really what that was. But at the same time, I wanted to fill my hours. So at least publicly here, I was like, yeah, I'm going to go full time. Like, it was more that I had a reason why I was going full time, but I wasn't saying it. I was just like, yeah, it just makes sense now. I remember some of my people being like, does it pay more than your tech job? And I was like, I just really want to do it. Yeah, full-time sweats. Yeah, exactly. I didn't want to scare everyone, so I wasn't gonna say it, you know? I stayed so low-key about my shit that I didn't say any of it. I was like, I'm straight up, I'm not gonna let them know. Illness makes you realize job is not as important in life as video games. Yeah, I mean, realistically, what I did, I could go back and do anytime. So if things don't go well for some reason, I will be fine. You know, I'll be okay because I have something I can pivot to. That's a luxury that I've got. So, you know, I was like, oh, well, if I want to do this, I could only do it now. So why not? That's it. It's not really like a deep life question for me. It's really like, I just feel like spending my time doing this right now. Okay. All right. And that's it. Upper middle class privilege. No. How about a person who got a job? Privilege. Who picked a career that they can go back and work in? Privilege. I don't call it that. Hi, baby. What's going on? Rap. That's what he says. The person who works hard, privileged. Yeah, that's not that. That's the grind set. I just think I'm capable of getting on a grind set. That's all. As evidenced by me starting streaming and just growing. Just do it, man. I don't know. A lot of people will be like, man, I don't know what to do to grow. I don't remember. And like, I don't think anyone can make you a guide. You just have to grind. You just have to spend time and you have to be mindful about it. You have to look at yourself and analyze yourself and be like, do people like this? Would they want to watch this? Would I want to watch this? That's it. There's no secret sauce, I don't think. There's none. You just have to do it a lot and become content brained. That's all. Right? And some people are just like really likable. Like some people, they have a really funny laugh, or the way they speak, people really like, they find it funny. You know, like I think Queso is a good example. That dude is just so funny existing. And that's why he's got so many viewers. And he came out of nowhere and just exploded because he's just like a really likable person when you sit there and watch him doing stuff. Not for everyone, but for like the majority of viewers. That's it. Right? Some people just have that. It always amazes you that people jump to privilege and nepotism instead of hard work. Lol. I'm not going to try and justify it. I just think people will often say that because they don't recognize or notice or see people until they're already popular, or they do a thing that's viral, which is probably their popular moment or whatever. So they see someone and that person is already big and they're like, ooh, that big person. When, you know, realistically, like, how did they get there? They're not born with 100,000 followers on Twitter, right? I made a Twitter account and it had 0 followers. And then I built it, right? Amelie, great example. She's been doing this for 18 years, literally. She's built it, you know? She didn't come out of nowhere. Like we were saying on our, on the VOD channel, there's like 800 hours of content on there. And that's not even all of my streams. It's missing a lot of the early ones. Like, you know, if you put that time in, you will get better, like 100%. Maybe some people will get better faster if they're doing certain things a certain way. They're thinking about it really actively versus being more passive, but still, like, it'll happen no matter what, right? It's the 10,000 hours thing. 10,000 hours playing piano, yeah, you're gonna get better. I think Mike mentioned before that Vinny rated him and a lot of people stayed. Yeah, he and I have talked about that a lot, where we're both in the same situation where we've had, like, you know, friends rate us or whatever, and that's helped us grow. He said for him, it took him a really long time to, like, fully understand and feel like he still did it himself. you know? And it wasn't until like a certain amount of time passed that he really was like, you know what? It doesn't matter where these people came from or how they found me. The fact is that whenever they did find me, they all stuck, right? And that was the point I was trying to make to him. I was like, you know, I have friends where I'll raid them and viewers leave. And then I have other friends where I raid them and viewers stay, right? And this is people of all sizes. You know, that's the thing. If you get discovered because a friend helps you out, that's cool, but like you still have to retain them, you know? So like if someone has a friend and they show off their friend and a lot of people watch them, and that friend retains those viewers, and especially if they start doing a lot of solo content and they still retain those viewers, then they're good. They shouldn't feel like they're a bad streamer or like they don't deserve it or something, right? That's just how it is. Some people do have that issue where you know, when they're hanging out with their friend on stream, people show up, but if they're not with that friend or doing content about that friend, people don't come by, then yeah, that's an indication like you should work on something. There's something that you're missing there. But you know, if they retain them, they should never feel like they're not doing it themselves, right? I think a lot of people, especially because the VTuber community is so tight and everyone raids each other and a lot of people know each other and all that kind of stuff. There are a lot of people, especially a lot of smaller streamers as well, they'll get raided and like people start coming by and they'll start to feel bad. They're like, but I need to make it myself. But I'm like, that. It's not how it works, you know? I don't want them to feel bad. Your worry is, how do you retain new viewers? Honestly, I think it's this simple. Don't think about anything other than like, I want people to sit here and have a good time. I want people to come here and the vibes are good to the point where their day has been made better. Whether it's that I'm playing a game that they like and I'm talking about it and they love talking about that thing, whether it's the way I act calms people, the way I act makes people excited, whatever it is, you just have to have that. And the more you try to think about it deeply, the more you're going to be in your head trying these really specific things, when overall you should just be like, let me be in a good mood and get on stream, right? I think it's that simple. And of course there are things you can fine tune, but that's what matters. That's what matters.